What's going on, everybody? Just thought I'd jump on, see what was going on this evening, see who was online, say hi, how things. Got the camera moved down here for a little bit so I can figure out a new mount. Actually, I think I found what I want that I can put in front of this new big 43-inch screen. So when I'm doing these things, I can have it right on the screen so it's easier for me to look around the screen and not look like I'm looking away from the camera. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, if you're on, say hey. I'm going to be looking around a little bit. So actually, I'm curious. I'm going to wait and do that here in a minute. I want to do a test on sharing my screen. I've resized it because obviously a 4K screen isn't going to look so great to you guys. But I thought if I resize it to the area that I typically want to share when we're doing design work, that should be helpful. Hola. And I'm hoping my audio is working. It looks like it is. I should be getting a signal, so you guys should be getting some audio. So yeah, like I said, hopefully everybody's had a good Thanksgiving, good weekend, getting ready for the week before Christmas hits and everything else. But I've got a couple of rush projects trying to get done for customers, including a bunch of signs tomorrow, which I'm waiting on shipment to come in, which obviously distributor wasn't running on Friday, so should get them tomorrow. Got to cut down like 15 24 by 36 ACM aluminum composite boards. Get those ready, and then I've got another, I think it's 12 11 by 17 ultra boards, which we actually already finished up. I finished those up Friday, actually. So yeah, just say hey. Otherwise, I'm just gonna chill out here. I need to figure out. Yeah, it's actually probably long enough. I could probably move this camera around. Actually, you know what I need to do? I need to bust out the tape measure. Figure out how far it is from the edge of my desk to the center. Okay, so it's 30, 32, yeah, 31 inches. I want to say that camera mount that I found will only go like 20 something. So I need to figure out exactly how far that will go and see if that's going to do what I want. I'm trying to found a cool mount. It's not cheap, but it's not terrible. Anyhow, clamps onto a desk edge. It's got like a 20 adjustable, I think 14 to 25 inches or 26 inches of height adjustable. And then it's got a swing arm, an articulated swing arm that it will go up to, I think, 24 inches across. So basically I can come up off the edge of the desk, come across, and then we can do looking down, so you can see stuff that we're working on top of a table or on top of the desk. And then of course for me, I want to use it actually in front of the screen so that I'm not having to look here and there, so I can keep everything kind of right in front of the screen for me when I'm doing these lives. Hopefully that makes sense. But I need to try and find, let me see if I can find it. Let me see here. No, I just had it up the other day, and there's actually a cyber coupon, so I should probably take advantage of it while I can. Let's see. Let's take a look here. I want to double check the measurements. All right, so actually, okay, so it'll go up to 29.5 inches high, which is way high. I mean, I actually only needed about 19 inches high, if that. So yeah, so that'll work there. And then let's let's see, 27 3/4 inches over. So that'll be like right here, which is only about 3 inches off center of the monitor. So that'll actually work pretty well. Like I said, not quite as far over as I would like. Chest. Sorry. But certainly not bad considering it's holding, you know, it'll hold a full frame camera with a lens and the whole thing. Of course, I'm just using my Canon M50 mirrorless, so don't have to worry about that extra weight. But definitely nice for those overhead jobs, especially if I'm running an aftermarket lens or I'm using my other Canon, which is a bigger, and I've got my L lenses, so that definitely adds some weight. Definitely not bad. So let's see here. Hey, Leonardo, what's going on, man? Sorry, I just saw your message. Looks like you just popped it up, so that's all good. Is the audio and video coming across okay? I've moved some things around, so I got a new 43-inch 4K screen here. So my old camera configuration, I had it mounted just above that monitor. Well, that was like right around this height. Well, now the screen, top of my screen's way up here, so I don't want to put the camera way up there looking down. So I'm doing this for now, and then what I'm talking about is this mount. Actually, here, let me bring this up for you. Let's see if I can share. Yeah, I can share this. Let's see. I'll put it right here. Whoop. There we go. All right, yeah, so this is the mount that I had found that looked really good and had phenomenal reviews from some good guys that I trust. So, like I said, it's a little pricey. I believe they've got a 20% off code right now. I need to double check that, but I mean, yeah, everybody's like, man, this thing will hold a beefy camera. So, you know, and give you the boom adjustment, articulation here. You get articulation here on the end here as well. So I think it may work pretty well. Let me see if I can get back to boom. Okay, everything's good. Good, cool, good deal. Now I gotta find my coupon code so I can check this out again. I want to say I had it on. Let me go look real quick. Da, 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 da. Always easier to find when you don't need it versus you're busy trying to do a live. And of course I can't find it. Oh, you know what it is? I think it's Think. So let me go to Think Media. Think Media had the code. Actually, it's probably just just a Think Media code. Cyber Monday, yeah. They're not having one. At least not that I've seen. Let me try this. Think Media. Let's see if that works. Yep, there we go. 20% discount. So yeah, so it goes from $169.95 to $135.96. So not terrible. Let me see what their shipping is like. Okay, $15 for shipping. Not fantastic, but not terrible, I guess. Thanksgiving was good here, man. How about you? My daughter and son-in-law and grandson finally got moved into their house a couple months back, so they got to host Thanksgiving, although we all brought food. So, but yeah, no, it was good. How about you? Trying to see if there's any additional discounts. Looks like not. Looks like 20% is pretty much it. 20% code is about as good as I'm gonna find. Not terrible. I got to imagine that you can get that for a better deal, but or something. I just haven't found anything similar, so that's why I'm kind of leaning towards giving that one a shot. Yeah, it's 160 on B&H. It's 170 on Amazon. So 139 is definitely a better deal. And like I said, it's got really good reviews. And I haven't found anything quite like it. I mean, most of the Chinese style ones were not quite as flexible as this, definitely not as rigid as this, definitely built cheaper. And they're not like crazy cheap. They're still in the 100 to 130 range. So I'm like, well, you know, this will give me the better capability. And I believe, oh man, let me see. I'm curious if I can mount this, if it's got enough clearance to mount on my work table out in the shop. Probably not, because that's actually a 2x4 thickness. So 3.5 inches. I don't know if this clamp will open. Oh, well, no, it says, yeah. So it adjusts up to 5.12 inches thick. So yeah, that'll work on even my production table outside, which would be really good. Of course, I have a tripod out in the garage, out in the shop area, so I can kind of move that around to anywhere anyhow. And I've got that mounted on top of a 32-inch screen just so I can see the YouTube comments and all that stuff. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna need it. I've already put off a few things because by doing this screen, you know, I was wanting, you know, the problem is this screen has a 300 by 300 VESA mount, so it's a big VESA mount, so you can't use your standard monitor stuff, even though it's relatively light. You can't use like standard monitor mounts. Like I had a 23-inch and a 22-inch screen in here before, a dual monitor, and I had those on articulating mounts that were mounted to the table, which were nice. But because of the size of this, it's like you're pretty much stuck buying something else. Well, the best deal I've found is a wall mount that'll give me all the angle ability and what I need, but and it's relatively cheap. It's like 45 bucks. I think I can get them for 40 bucks. The problem is that where I'm positioned right here is I'm right in front of two windows. And so in between the windows, I've got about a 6-inch gap. And in that gap is where I could mount the mount. Problem is, I don't think I'm always going to have this desk and this setup right here in front of these windows. So, you know, even if I were to slide the desk a little bit, it wouldn't be as useful because it's a window. So my other option was to get a stand, right? Which really is more of a TV stand. And the problem with the aftermarket TV stands, even though they're cheap, I mean, you can get them for 30 to 40 bucks. They don't have, well, no, they got some decent adjustability. The problem is they've got these huge bases that are like anywhere from 12 to 15 inches wide, 17 inches wide actually, and anywhere from 9 to 11 inches deep. So it's going to take up quite a bit of desk space that I'm using right now. I mean, I've got equipment, I've got my phone, I've got stuff underneath the screen right here. So it makes it a little challenging to have some big mount, but it gives me the flexibility of having it wherever, right? So anyhow, so my cheap out excuse for right now, and actually here I can show you actually, is I basically just made a stand that matches the finish of my desk. And it's just basically a 2x4s that get it up out of the way. So that was my quick hack, right? So you can kind of get a, let me zoom out here. I can't quite get far enough away, but so anyhow, so it gets it up off the desk and gives me the height that I need for right now. But as you can see, it's a big screen, you know, 43-inch 4K. So anyhow, so that was my quick hack, was just to do those risers and then just stain them to match my desktop so it doesn't quite look so obvious. Quick solution for now. But I still have the problem with the camera mount, which actually I can't even show you because that's mounted right now. It's behind this TV. It's behind the screen. That's where I had the old mount for this camera. So I don't really have, unless I want it to be way above my head. That's why I think that arm's going to work best. So hopefully that makes sense. Just realized I went wide angle again. Let me zoom in a little bit. There you go. And then I'll move it over here. That's a little better. TV mount swing style for 3. What do you mean for 3? And like I said, the problem I have with, I can do a swing style on that column, but like I said, it's very possible, since I ended up moving one of the other big printers out of this room, I've got quite a bit of open space behind me. So I may eventually move this desk over to that part of the room, in which case there won't be a wall where the TV or where the monitor is. That way I could, because right now, what was nice before was with my dual monitor setup, I could actually see a bit over the monitors, and I'm looking out at a city park. So it's a nice view. So right now that's pretty much blocked. I've got about a foot and a half on this side, left side of the screen, and about the same on the right side of the screen to see out, but I definitely can't get the same view I had before. So I'm debating moving over to that side of the office to open up my view. Plus now when I've got the blinds open and I'm letting sun through, I'm not getting much because it's half blocked. TV swing mount for 35 and a mount on a 2x4 pan. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, all options. Like I said, this is actually working right now, and it doesn't look that hacky. Staining it to match the desktop that I built. I didn't do a clear coat finish on it because I kind of rushed it because I basically got the new monitor and brought it in here, tested it, made sure everything was going to work the way I wanted it to, got the configuration set, my color scheme set, all that fun stuff, and made sure everything was good before I was going to invest any more. So my quick solution was just to go out there, cut down a couple 2x4s, sand them down nice, and do my 2-step staining process on them to get them to match the desk, and there you go. So that was my quick solution. So what else has been going on with you? Been keeping busy with projects? I don't know if you heard what I said earlier, but I do have quite a bit to get, man, not a terrible amount, but a decent amount to get done tomorrow. I'm still waiting on material. It just stinks, this whole supply problem. I'm waiting on material. I feel bad. I got a customer that we've already got his deposit. We've already produced 3/4 of his wrap for a truck, and waiting on more material to come in to finish the print production. So it's been a week and a half. Of course, holidays didn't help, but they still don't have a good ETA for me from the manufacturer, so I'm waiting. Luckily, it's coming from Germany, so it's not quite as bad as if it was coming from Asia somewhere, but it's still a wait regardless. So I got to follow up on that tomorrow, see if I can get an update. Well, that's a good problem if you can't keep up and you got the material. I'm still waiting on window perf for almost 2 months, specific window perf for one customer, commercial job, big material. And then I'm actually waiting on window perf for vehicle too, the higher end stuff, which actually I need to follow up on that too. Actually, I think I got the perf. I don't have the, no, it's the other way. I've got the optically clear lamb, but I don't have the perf. Everybody just seems to have the cheap stuff. Oh, which press do you have? And what, do you have one of the service contracts? You know, I just realized my flip out screen is not out. Sorry about all that. I've got everything flipped out right now. Yeah, which press? Which press is it? Oh, okay, the Reco Pro, no service contract. Yeah, yeah, that's always the challenge, man. I mean, it's hard to justify those service contracts, but you know, when it's making you money every day, trying to get a service person in. Did you have to get a service person? Oh, well, that's good. That's good. So you actually have a decent contact for the service side too. I don't even remember the 5200. That was a color one, right? Yeah, that's a color press. Yeah, somebody had a 5200, I think it was a 5200S. I don't know what the difference is. Um, like 7,300 bucks, something like that. Yeah, I was gonna say with the service contract, you're paying for everything's kind of included, right? You pay per click and you pay for everything. Or no, can you still pay per click even without a service contract? What are you normally doing with that press? What's your normal go-to on sales wise? Yeah, that's what that one was with Pro C5200S for 7,300. Um, had the LCT and all that stuff. Okay, so yeah, so you don't pay per click then, right? If you do your own toner and drum and all that stuff. Oh, you're doing books? Wow. Yeah, flyers and stuff. But see, that gets tricky, man, because I can do flyers. I mean, offset printing flyers is just crazy cheap. I guess if you've got small runs, um, it makes sense. But gosh, man, when I send that stuff out, it's so crazy and expensive. I guess it just depends on quantities and all that stuff. Yeah, same with posters. Yeah, I wish I could remember who had that. I can't find it now. There's another one. There's one without LCT for 6,200. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So it's more that's that niche is doing small runs. Like I just had to do uh some cardstock 2 inch. Problem was they wanted the punch, you know, that's basically like a hanger. They were tying them onto ornaments. So they wanted them punched. They originally wanted them to be 2 inch rounds, but that would have added a whole nother complexity to it. Um, then I was going to try and get away with doing rounded corners. Well, that was going to add a whole time and pain in the butt. So I'm like, no. So I ended up sending them out and got just square with the hanger punch for like, I don't remember. Uh, I think it was like less than $100 for 3 runs. So I can't complain. They have good support or just because you're good with the dealer. Okay, yeah, so here's the Pro 5200S, 165,000 on the meter. S booklet finisher, fire included. So it's got the booklet maker finisher. That one's 6,200. Basically just a copier. It's funny, I keep seeming to find those over in like Florida, and it's funny, you'd think I'd see them around Dallas. Gotcha, so they have good support in general. Well, that's good to keep in mind. I mean, I definitely know some people with the Rycos. Emu Brokers, don't know that one. Refi. I'm sorry. What's that for? Or what were you referring to there? Oh, interesting. So how does that work? Oh, the 2060 Biz Hub. Yeah, somebody else had a Biz Hub, and they were whining about something about it, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So do you have to run that on to run the Ryco? Or is that just something that helps you bypass the license? I mean, what does it do for you? Mike's humming a bit. Don't know what that is. There is a little bit of a hum in here. I wonder if that's what you're hearing. Hey, hey, what's up, Lily? How's it going this Sunday evening? Have a good Thanksgiving. Oops, did I just close? Oh no, I'm okay. Thought I closed the wrong browser, but I think I'm doing all right. Just got to get used to this new screen setup. Thanksgiving was a solo mission. Oh man. Well, hopefully it went well. Hopefully you're doing good. We got kind of lucky this year. My daughter and son-in-law and grandson are finally in their house for the last couple months, and they wanted to host, so we all brought food, but we didn't have to deal with cleanup much. So it was good. Where did crud? There you go. Yeah. I forget, where are you at, Lily? I forget exactly where you were. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. I remember those games. Luckily not with our kids, but I remember doing that myself. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Texas Spurs. Interesting. Not familiar with the area. What Spurs near? Is that like getting out toward Lubbock? No, that's not that one, is it? Man, I can't remember. Oh, on the printing side? Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Like I said, that's why any of that small stuff I just send out. Especially now, my space is a bigger issue. And I'd almost rather turn away some of those small jobs just because they're lower dollar jobs anyhow. But if it works for you, that's great. Oh, San Antonio. Got it, got it. Texas Spurs, got it. Okay, San Antonio. Man, we'd go down there. Well, actually, I'm trying to think of the last time we went down. I don't think we went down this year, did we? Yeah, we did. We did go down there this year. We normally go down at least once a year, if not more. Um, we'll normally spend like a day or more in San Antonio, and then a day or more in Fredericksburg, and kind of do that's kind of our cheap getaway. Makes sense, Leonardo. Right, yeah, that makes sense. Stick with the main guys, the main customers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Walk-ins are that's when I had the space I was in for 15 years, I was so glad it wasn't a retail space. I mean, we still had walk-ins, don't get me wrong. Because it was more of a commercial office warehouse space, so warehouse on the backside, commercial office on the front. But it was a well-known area. We did get drive-bys and people that would look us up and just come. But it wasn't like a retail walk-in where you were always having walk-ins. I mean, you need a person just to handle that. It takes you off every task that you get. So, um, yeah, I'm not excited about walk-ins. I know sometimes they lead to a lot, but man, it's just such a small percentage versus the time that they take away from you. I just found another one of my blades. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been going down there since our kids were little, and they're 32 now. So, um, yeah, that was always a spot for us to go. And it's only what 300 miles from us to drive down from Dallas. So that's a good thing. Need to figure out. Let's see. Forgot I've got another wrap I gotta start doing. I just hope that the ACM, the aluminum composite material, comes in kind of early tomorrow. Luckily, it's one of my distributors that does twice a day delivery, so I'm hoping it'll be here before lunch because I need to cut all those down. I think we've got 15 of them to cut. I got 15 24 by 36 aluminum composite signs that I got to do. So That FSC cutter makes that so easy, not having to mess with doing that on the table saw and the static mess that it makes, and then deburring the edges. And man, that Fletcher FSC cutter just works fantastic. No dust, no nothing, clean edges, no burrs, no nothing. That was a hell of an investment. Oh, U-turns, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely certain like lights and stuff, certain places that they don't allow U-turns, but predominantly they're common. That's the funny thing, it's like I go back to Jersey, which, I was born there, but I've been in Texas since I was 9 years old, so I'm pretty much a Texan. But, there's no left turns. They do those, what are they called? Horseshoe turns. So if you want to go left on a road, you go through the light and then you make a circle and then you end up going that way. So whatever that's called, a clover. Yeah, clover. Definitely minimizes accidents. I mean, you don't have to deal with all that people cutting in front of you doing a left turn, so that's a benefit. Um, but it takes a lot of space too to make all those at every intersection. So yeah, that's what I did, Leonardo. I picked up a used one. I think I paid, gosh, I don't remember exactly, but it was around 1,200 bucks. Perfect shape, like new condition. Had three of the cutting blade or three of the cutters, and then he had packs of blades. Um, so yeah, it's been friggin' it's been great. I've not pulled out the table saw for cutting almost anything in a while now, which is nice because now I've got such a tighter space, and I hate to introduce the dust and the static and all that stuff. So I've been getting away without using that. Man, I'm stuffed. I had more pie tonight. Oh Lord, and ice cream. I shouldn't have done that. That was kind of dinner, but we still got so much freaking pie. Echo transfer print. Oh, Echo solvent transfer prints. Um, yeah, I mean, they're okay. They're a fallback for me. I mean, we've been doing that for 10 plus years. Um, Matter of fact, I've just did three jackets out in there right now. I'm waiting on a customer to pick up. We did some embroidered caps. We did some embroidered beanies, and then we did full color print transfers on these three weatherproof jackets that they had that would have been tricky to embroider. I mean, because you'd be sewing pockets and insulated liners and all that stuff. So we do full color printed transfers for those. 80 tooth, man, that's a ton of teeth. I've got an 80 tooth on, or not always, but I've got an 80 tooth for my 12-inch chop saw, or compound miter saw. And I've used it a few times, but it's almost too many teeth. I probably could have got away with like probably a 45 to 60, probably a 60. But yeah, and the table saw does do a good job when I'm running that side, that kind of like a 60 on there. Even a 45 does well. No, it's not as good. I think I'm running like a 30 normally in there, a 30 or 35. Um, and it does okay, but it just takes up so much more space. And now I kind of keep our finished production jobs out there on that table. So, because I've got a 50-inch fence too, so it's a good sized table. I've got one of my air filtration systems mounted under the outfeed or the end of that table. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the BN20, but if you get a good enough deal, it's worth trying. Yeah, but the problem is you could get a brand new 65-inch for 10 grand. So, I mean, if you got the space for it, it's a way better value. Yeah, do like everybody else, finance it. Get you a loan or do cash in a loan or cash in a laser transfers. Oh, you talking about like the color laser transfers? I'm not a fan of those either, honestly, but I guess like I said, to each their own, and they're definitely cheaper to get into for sure. Um, Different market, but of course, you could always just outsource those, any of them. I mean, it really just depends on what your niche is, right? I mean, if you need fast turnaround, that's one thing. If you just need delivery in a week, man, order them from anyone else out there. I mean, we could do, if you want solvent-based transfers, we could do them. You could, I mean, you can always kind of get started that way, figure out your niche or figure out your marketability, your sales, and then it makes it a lot easier for you to invest in buying something. Leonardo, you talking about like a white toner transfer? Yeah, the Nina papers get expensive too. I mean, they're like almost $1 each, and that's just for an 8.5 by 11. Oh, I know. I'm not a big fan, like I said. But like even with the Nina paper or the Nina transfer sheets, you can't do any kind of white, right? Or is it? Yeah, I'm not sure how that one works. Oh, I know. I know. Yeah, I haven't. I'm definitely not a fan of DTFs. See, here's Nina laser dark paper transfer. Oh, you can actually do contour cut laser? I mean, that's what I do with solvent. We're printing on a white material, print and color, and then we just contour cut it. It's just, it gets tricky depending on the details and how you want to do it. Really interesting. So you just doing monochrome or are you doing full color or black and white?
When it comes to image color management, personally, what I like to do is disable image color management. Because Corel Draw, remember, paper to show you the acceptable temperature range for applying the setting. I feel it's a requirement to put this type of degree at room temperature before we remove the different review what we since we're removing 300 the browns in that new formulation.
Colorful for laser. Really? So like I've got a Dell full color, Dell color laser, no white toner obviously, but and you're saying even with the Nina paper, I could put that in there, print that, and do a transfer with it. Yeah, I've never even looked into that. Let alone that how does the transfer work? Are you printing on a clear?
Now, if you have any questions regarding the new formulation unit mixed laser guard or something that we did not cover in this video, don't hesitate to contact us direct at 1-800-826-6332, or you can visit our website at www.condy.com.
Yeah, Lily. I mean, if they don't want to pay 13, but I mean, it depends. How many shirts are you talking about? Are they wanting to buy 20, 30 shirts, and that's why they don't want to pay $13? Or are they wanting like 1 or 2 or 3 shirts? What are they, what's the market? All laser, no, the paper's white. Okay, so if it's white paper and you're printing on it, does the entire white transfer onto the shirt? Or how does that work?
Anything. And click here to visit this product website. For that, we'll show you how to feed laser opaque tape on Condi pack S tray copier that you want to go see onto paper quality. Sure that it's off on your tissue. Because we are use a paper cutter to trim away the excess. But a note about using
one full color shirt and they're wanting to pay $13? Yeah, they're not worth talking to. They're not worth wasting your time on. I mean, a DT, if you went to a DTG printer, they're going to be 25 to $35 for a single shirt.
When it comes to the Laser One opaque material and running it through an optical or vinyl cutter, you want to make sure that you have your cutting speed set between 20 to 30 centimeters per second. That's right, but not what she that will press over. That's a 300 press our garment. Separate the fifth to get fancy. You can use an optical or vinyl cutter to trim away the excess material. When it comes to the
how? Well, I mean, they're not your competitors. You don't want to compete with people like that. You can't make any money. It's not worth the time.
That translates to about 8 to 12 inches per second. Also,
it just doesn't make sense.
Using a standard 45-degree blade, and you have your gram force set somewhere between 90 to 120. What you want to make sure.
And I don't know, like I said, none of my competitors would sell it for that. I mean, heck, if you screen printed it, which has got the lowest cost of doing it, full color, do a CMYK print would be more than $13. I mean, especially for one shirt. Number one, you couldn't screen print one shirt, but
to expose the film. Then grab the film and use your fingernail.
Yeah, don't compete.
To wedge in, and then start to separate the film from the vacuum sheet. Like so. Once you have the film separated from
you can't do a single screen printed transfer for $13.
So let's go over the heat press and I'll show you how. This, if you're this or trim the material.
I mean, the only way you could screen print, I mean, if it's full color, it would probably have to be a CMYK print. You'd want to pay somebody else to create the transfer, and you'd have them pre-buy whatever quantity that made sense. Let's say they want 50 over a year, and you want to do one at a time for $13. Sure, no problem. But I mean, you still got to have that commitment and purchase. But anyhow, it doesn't make sense. But like I said, the only way that they can justify that is if they pre-sell them and then make the transfers at one time. Because, I mean, just to create the screen, especially if you're talking about CMYK or spot, there's no way. The number of screens you'd make, you'd have $100+ in just your screens before you even printed a shirt or printed a transfer.
The features. So anyways, the first way, we're just gonna print our image on the sheet. We're not gonna do any trimming, pressing. Like I said, last trimmer on the image, like I said, so if I would leave any white, that
Yeah, really.
would show.
Or make sure you're comparing apples to apples.
So we did trim as close as we could to the image. Last, but we can.
Because we are gonna face up kind of like a decal. This is actually on your shirt. You're gonna have an extra. You're just gonna pull off.
Yeah, the other problem with transfers is the time to freaking press them.
And you'll be brown, no, feet off. Sorry about that. They said for full 8. Keep that in mind. So now we're anyway. Cover. So again, off. This is what.
Hey, so Leonardo, you were talking about that Nina paper. Are all those Nina papers multiple layer? So you can actually use a plotter to cut, like I could use my Graph Tech to cut them, just like I do with my solvent base? I mean, if so, that's interesting. I still don't know that it's worth, well, a buck a piece. I'd have to figure it out, see if it made sense. Because like I said, I can do that with the vinyl now. Well, like I said, single color, you still have to, I mean, I guess we need to know more about your customer base, because if you've got somebody, Joe Blow, coming in and they like, hey, I just want one shirt for $13 and I'm never going to come back, there's no way you can do that. It just won't make sense. You can't. I mean, because you've got to create the screen. So you've already got your screen cost set up, all the art time, all the setup, all the cleanup, just for one print to make one transfer or to print one shirt. There's no way you could do that for $13. You'd be losing your butt. Leonardo, I don't need what? Transfer paper is intended for use on cotton, cotton blends, and synthetic. Print with laser only. Apply to dark color fabrics only. Well, that's interesting. Why are they saying that? Do not print using laser image or mirror image. Stretch the transfer immediately after application to increase softness and durability. Do not wash. Do not dry clean. For use on dark fabrics only. Huh. That's interesting. I don't need laser transfer. Is that what you're saying? Better off just sticking my normal printed transfers with the solvent. Yeah, I guess, Lily, I'd just have to know more. Uh-oh. My camera just went, my battery just died, so hang on, give me just a minute and I'll bring the camera back up. Let me swap the battery out. I don't have, I didn't have it on a hardwire. I had it on the battery. So let's swap that out. Oop. Yeah, that's what I figured you meant. Oops. Okay, let's plug this back in. We got the screen running. All right, sorry about that. Put the new battery in. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So you do a lot of the, well, it sounds like you've got a couple different methods then. So you're doing laser, you're doing vinyl transfers, and you're doing laser transfers plus screen printing and DTG. I mean, it seems like you wouldn't have quite so many options. I don't know that there'd be a reason for it. Yeah, you'd be in the two to two something per shirt. Gonna have options. Oh, you don't have DTG. Okay. For some reason, I thought you said you did. Oh, you're gonna do DTF, huh? Okay. Haven't been sold on DTF yet either. A couple of the samples I've got are decent, but you can just do laser. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, in that case, yeah, I mean, it's your call, but you could either just screen print. Well, man, yeah, I mean, in that case, I would just print up the screens, have them ready to go, um, give them one or two options on ink color. I'd keep it simple and doing white, just offer colored shirts, darker shirts, um, and then just, yeah, go out there and print it. Especially if it's a one-off, you can just use your flash sheeter to set it and be done. You just keep that screen out there wet and ready to go whenever. I mean, that's really your easiest way. Next option would be to go ahead and just pre-print a bunch of uh, transfer sheets, and that way you could store those and have those ready to go too. Oh, there you go, Lily. Yeah, so if you've already got the screens made, you're good to go. So you can do it for 13 bucks, no problem, if it's just a single color print. Hey, give me just a minute. Like crazy, wow. Okay, okay. Go ahead. My dog came running to me. Like running. I think he just needed to go out to the bathroom. Let's see here. Oops. That wasn't what I wanted, but it'll work. But yeah, that sounds like the way to go. Like I said, just especially if you got it down to one color. Goofball. Oh yeah, vinyl. Well, I mean, vinyl by itself's okay. It really depends on the design, you know. And the issue with vinyl, especially if you can screen now, I mean, screening's going to be your best bet. I mean, way cheaper, way easier. There's more to the setup. It takes more time, but I mean, God, once you start printing, it's cheap. So I mean, if you got any decent quantity, that's definitely the way to go. Um, but yeah, as far as vinyl goes, the problem with vinyl is, like you said, how detailed is the design? Does it even make sense? How much weeding is there? You got small text, you got small elements. Vinyl's a nightmare. It's not worth it. Um, yeah, you're better off screening them. What do you mean no setup? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Not I just meant as far as you still gotta prep and burn the screen. I mean, you still got your time in it, even though there's no alignment. But yeah, just square the screen up and go. That part makes it pretty easy.
Try telling me again what the name of the app.
Well, that's intriguing. No idea what the heck that was. Looks like Waldo just jumped on. Slacker. Guess that's why he's not here. Because normally he'd jump in. He probably didn't pay attention. A sweater. Sweaters can be interesting, man, especially depending on the texture of the sweater. I mean, I have enough issues. We've done we've done some lightweight jackets. Just did a bunch of those for a customer. Actually, smoking deal, believe it or not. Women's jackets, Costco. I mean, nice jackets for 14 bucks. Crazy. So anyhow, yeah, so he went and picked them up at Costco and we embroidered them all and I did pretty well on those actually. So, and I've got a couple of, he also picked up some beefy blankets, nice blankets at Costco too. Those were a little more expensive, but, and I mean, one of them is like king size. They're not small. And we're embroidering his logo on the corner. So I've done a couple tests for them. They're different types of blankets. So the way that it's taking the embroidery is a little different. Some of them have really fine fabric, so it's sneaking through around the edges. They're kind of a grayish silver color, and we're using a grayish silver ink or thread. So like one color may work fine on, like the gray might work fine on this particular blanket, but on that one it kind of disappears. So I haven't done more than one of each of the types that he's got right now with one type of thread on each. So I'm waiting for him to maybe come check them out this week and let me know which way he wants to go for these other ones that we have to do for him. Gotta love idiots. Eh, we can add moderators. I don't have enough live right now to deal with it. Oops. Are they all removed? Gildan sweater crew neck. Interesting. Gildan sweater. Yeah, there's not a way to like report those guys, is there? Yeah, I guess you kind of can. Anyhow. Well, cool. Man, it's already almost 8:30 here. I am going to probably take off for now. Go refill my agua, since I'm about at the end. And go on up and prepare for tomorrow. So anyhow, thanks guys for popping in. And 14. What's 14? Ah, sorry. Now you're good. All right, guys. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for chatting. And you guys have a good one. And I'm sure we will talk soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.